What is up, PowerGamer.se? Vi är i Stockholm igen för att träffa några intressanta individer kring Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls som har release tisdagen den här veckan. And I'm here with a super gentleman who can tell us all about this magnificent expansion pack for Diablo 3. So let's just start out by you introducing yourself and telling us all about what you do.
Sure. I'm McCree, the lead content designer for Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls.
Yeah.
What do? I design for the game.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty damn concrete right there.
Yeah.
So just getting right into then the whole idea of this first really major expansion pack for Diablo 3. How do you feel about it? It's been coming along since the game's initial release.
I think it's good. We had a long beta. I played it a ton. We're getting good feedback. I'm super excited. It's coming out tonight, so I can't wait to see what people think of it.
Yeah. So how do you feel about a game with the kind of gameplay that Diablo 3 has? What's the real challenge in developing it further after the initial release?
For us, it's kind of limiting what we want to do. We have so many ideas. We have to try and pick the best ones. Like, what does the game need? What do the fans want? We try and look at the feedback and go, okay, can we do this? What does this mean? And try and incorporate the stuff that makes the game really fun. And I think we've done that. We've added new areas. Players always love that. A new class. People like that. You can go from 60 to 70 now. We've added adventure mode, which is a whole new way to play the game. It unlocks every waypoints, which is something that people have been asking for a long time. So, I mean, we try and look at every aspect of the game and go, how can we make this better? That's kind of the advantage of an expansion as opposed to a new game. We have a lot of feedback, a lot of ideas, and we try and make the right choices.
Right. So you talked a lot about how the game went through a lot of early beta testing and stuff like that, but do you feel that you got something as valuable as from the actual, just watching how the players ventured into the game and how they played it? Did you get anything that was particularly valuable from that?
I think all the feedback is valuable. I spent a ton of time in the game with players, checking out the new clan system. There's new social systems, clans and communities, and I would get in and chat with people. They don't know who I am, but I'm asking, hey, are you having fun? What are you doing? Can I come play with you? That's always awesome. Watching people play online is interesting. We have a really good QA group internally, and the whole team plays the game. We like it, so it's easy. It's easy to work on it and play it and go, oh, what would be cool to add, or what do players want, and see how that works.
Because a lot of the early fixes that we got were things like tweaks to the looting system and stuff like that, and there was also a lot of talk about that during the time when it was supposed to be released for the consoles.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about those changes?
Well, the new loot system is really good. The console influenced that a lot. We see the expansion as an opportunity to make really big changes. Patches let us do little things, but an expansion just lets us go, here's a whole bunch of new stuff all at once, and it kind of makes more sense if it's all packaged together.
Yeah. We talked a lot with you guys back in the days for the console release, and so like one of the key points was this whole excitement around, okay, we're gonna be developing simultaneously for the PC and the Mac and the consoles. And did you get that sensation that, okay, Diablo 3 is growing in new ways now with we have the possibilities with the home consoles?
I'm not sure what your question is exactly.
No, but was there a major breakthrough for the game just by the fact that you were able to play it on the consoles, this whole new audience that you found with?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we looked at the console version as, we want it to be good on the console. So we changed a lot of things. We changed the UIs, we changed the controller input, we changed the way the loot drops, and then for the PC version, for the expansion, we looked at all those changes and went, which ones make sense for us to keep? Which ones do players like, and how can we incorporate that?
Yeah.
And things like the loot, the way it works, it made sense to change it, so we kept that. And now we're working on the PlayStation 4 version also, so it'll be interesting to watch. The guys that are working on that. It's our team, but there's a couple of designers specifically. They'll look at it and go, okay, what makes sense to put into the console version from Reaper, and vice versa. So when we do patches, we'll go, what are they doing? And we kind of feed off each other. It's interesting to have a kind of a cycle like that.
Yeah. Okay, so just if we really just pop the hood and just go at large, what the Reaper Souls is about, what can you? So we had this huge fan base of people just waiting for another excuse to get right back into Diablo 3. And what can they expect this time around?
Well, they're going to kill monsters and get loot. Like,
Let's go.
I mean, we try and make that. I mean, it's a really simple idea. You kill monsters to get loot,
Yeah.
but you know, we try and make an interesting environment, cool bad guys, you know, new monsters, new ways to play, and we want to make it really exciting and kind of, you know, fun to do. I think the game always had good combat.
Yeah.
It's really fun to hit stuff, and you know, it's fun to kill monsters. So, I mean, its core strengths are good. I think the expansion adds a lot of new and interesting ways to play. You know, and new environments, new monsters to kill, new bosses. It's interesting to learn, you know, your new skills that you've got, because now you're going from 60 to 70 and you're getting new abilities. So just there's a lot of new stuff to see in the expansion.
And there's a lot of things going around with the story as well, isn't it? That, like, avoiding spoilers, but
right. Well, I mean, there's obviously a new bad guy. He's on the box. It's kind of hard to have that.
You might have seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this new class as well, the Crusader
the
class.
Crusader. He's really fun to play.
Yeah.
We really like the idea of a big kind of heavy armored melee character. He's got a big shield, and you know, he hits pretty hard, and he's got, you know, some righteous fury he likes to lay down. So, yeah.
So how do you feel during playtesting? How does he add up between the barbarian?
He plays differently than the barbarian. He plays differently than the monk. I mean, those are both kind of melee characters. He's got a good, we call him mid-range melee. He's got a lot of spells, so he can hit from a distance. I think I played him a lot in hardcore in the beta, and it was interesting to try and make him not get hit. You know, how can I play him and still stay at range? He's able to do that, but he's also able to get in and get hit and use that shield to good effect. So, yeah, he's really fun. I played him multiple times, 1 to 70 in the beta. So,
right.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this game that you haven't had experienced yet?
That I haven't experienced?
Yeah.
I played it a lot. I mean, obviously, since I get to work on everything, I try everything. So, the only thing, so since the game is random, right. This is where things get interesting. Is no matter how much I play, I'm going to see something new, especially with, you know, really random systems like Nephilim Rifts. Yeah. Because those take all the dungeons and all the monsters, all the bosses, and random, like, shuffle them up and give you a random dungeon. So every time you play it, it's new. So there's still things in there where I set up a lot of the numbers, and I set up, okay, sometimes you're going to have a very rare chance of seeing this in conjunction with this, but it still surprises me, like, oh, I've never seen these things together, and that's cool.
And I guess that's the whole charm of it.
That's the cool thing about randomization.
Really. So we have, you mentioned the ongoing development for the PS4, and but it still feels like maybe PC is still the home platform in a sense. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Yeah, for now, that's the way we see it. And you know, the PS4 version is in development. Once PC comes out tonight, and we'll be able to focus even more attention on the PS4 version. But we're really focused on getting the PC version out right now.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the ongoing development with these different versions? Will they move more towards somewhere, a ground where they will be compatible with all each other, and players will be able to play cross-platform, or is there any reason for you to work towards that point? Do you feel that there's a need for that?
I'm not sure. I think it would be nice if the game came out on multiple platforms at once. If we were going to do more expansions or more console versions, you know, that's an if. That's not an announcement. Just in terms of working methods, it would be more convenient. You know, it'd be nice to have everyone focused on something that was all happening all at once. But the way it works now is not bad. No, the game is good. So
yeah, sure. One thing I really loved, like personally, about the console version that we played earlier, were the fact just that this tiny detail that the camera is just a few inches closer to you, and it just gives you that more of a traditional, like what I would expect from a dungeon crawler played on console. So personally, I see there's a lot of ground to optimize that on the consoles. Mm-hmm. But looking at some of the core gameplay, is this the same? Is this just more meat to the grind, or are we going to see some drastic changes?
Well, I mean, there's big changes to things like the difficulty system. So previously, when you played through the game, you would, every time you beat Diablo, you would unlock a harder difficulty. Right. The game doesn't work like that anymore. And in fact, the game scales to your level. So no matter where you are in the game, if you're in Act 5, you can be there at level 1, which previously wouldn't have been possible. You would have had to play through the game. and leveled up, of course, during that time. So, I mean, there's some big fundamental changes just to the way the game is structured that make it very different to play. The expansion's pretty much a different experience
altogether. Yeah. And it feels that maybe kind of ties into the fact that in the pre-patch before the expansion, we saw the appearance of these pools of reflection. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like this maybe was kind of stepping stone into the expansion. What was the whole idea between adding them at that stage?
Well, the main point of the pools is we want to give you a bonus for staying alive.
Right.
Like, we want you to go, ooh, I don't want to die. And in hardcore, obviously, you'd never want to die. But, you know, in the course of the regular game, we didn't want it to be more convenient for you to go, oh, my health is low, instead of using up potions, I'm just going to die. Like,
right.
We'd rather you had to make a little bit of a choice. And we'll watch and see how that plays out. If we need to put more incentive to stay alive, maybe we'll try and figure something out, or we'll tweak those. But they seem to be working. Players understand them. I think they're pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We're always looking for little systems to help the game out.
Yeah. So we keep coming back to hardcore mode. Do you see? Are there a lot of players going there?
I don't know. I keep going back to it because I'm playing it now, so it's always on my mind.
You're right.
I mean, I play both, but right now I'm playing hardcore a lot, so it's
because I just remember like my hardcore days. That takes me back to Lord of Destruction, and I kind of just cringe every time I like. It's a great experience, but would you say that you have to go to hardcore eventually to get that true Diablo experience?
I don't think so. I think hardcore is for some people.
Not for everyone else.
Yeah, I think eventually you'll make a choice to go there, and you'll either get it or you won't. You know, you'll die for the first time, and you'll decide then like, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know?
So with this expansion, was there anything that you felt that you would have wished that you could implement from the get-go, or is this mostly things that you, like we talked about player testing and beta testing, just the game evolving in a natural way?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it? Is this just a natural stepping stone, or is this stuff that you should have been there from the start?
Oh, that's tricky to say. Things like that you don't know until you know. I think with the original game it was, it's fun, it's good, people told us it was good, internally we liked it. A lot of the things that we worked on for the expansion, we didn't realize were issues until the game was played a lot.
Right.
So, just like with this, we'll put this, like right now we feel great about it, we'll put it out, hopefully it's good. If there's anything that needs to be changed, we'll change it. Yeah. We want to support the game, so.
How hard has it been for you to discern between what kind of opinions from players are valuable, or I guess there's a lot to filter, because like if you go on the web and just see what people are talking about the game, what they like, what they don't like, how do you really filter that to somewhere like add it up with your own expertise of how to make a game?
Right. I mean, that's the trick of being a designer.
Right.
You asked me what I did earlier.
Right.
I said I designed. Basically all that means is I listen to people and I try and understand what they want. And I try and figure out how to make that a reality.
And it's hard because they have no idea themselves what they want.
Well, everybody wants something different.
Yeah. So
you have to go, okay, what does this mean? What does this actually translate into? And how can I turn this into something that's fun for a lot of people? Like how can I keep the game interesting? It's not about what do I want to do, right? Even within our team, all artists and programmers and producers and people on other teams, the internet, everybody's telling me everything they want, and I'm trying to take that all in, process it, and turn it into, okay, here's what would be fun. And that's how we come up with stuff like adventure mode.
Right. We should talk a bit more about that because we haven't really gotten into it. So the gist of adventure mode, hit us.
Basically, you can port anywhere you want in the world. We've unlocked all the waypoints. That's something players ask for. They're like, we want to port around. So we did that. We just said, okay, you can now port around. But it was hard to understand where you were in the world, so we added the map. So instead of the waypoint list, you can kind of see the world. And I like the idea that you have a connection. You can you have a metaphor for the world is interesting. Instead of the world feeling like a bunch of different places, the map kind of ties it together into a space. So on top of that, we added bounties, which are kind of quests. They're basically suggestions for what to do, because when you can go anywhere, it's hard to know where to go. So we said, okay, how about you go here and do this, and how about you go here and do this, and then if you do 5 of those in an act, you unlock the Nephilim Rift system, which is the randomized dungeons I was talking about earlier. And every time you launch the game, all those 5 bounties in each act are different. So there's 25 different random things to do.
And to this, there's a whole new act as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So if there were any like question marks about this earlier, then they should be dispelled by now. That this seems to be like the true stepping stone for a Diablo fan.
Hopefully, I think it's really fun. I mean, a lot of players are, a lot of people that played in the beta told us they were having a great time, and we were having a good time playing it. So, I mean, we wouldn't put the game out unless we felt like it was fun.
Yeah.
And it's coming out tonight, so.
Yeah. Coming out tonight, Tuesday this week. Thank you so much for sitting in on this.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.